Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm always looking through my window, so that's the reason why my head goes up. So it's a real recording, so we are not making this up. So it's not AI, so it's real people, two people talking this morning before lunchtime. So Ricardo, thank you so much for coming to Making It in Austria. I'm really looking forward to your story. We were connected through Paula Monteiro. She was our host, our guest some time ago. So it's really time flies, believe it or not. So if you have not checked that into with Paula, so look down. So we are now on the 112th episode, 112 with Ricardo. So it's been a while since Making It in Austria exists, and it's been all around the world. So I'm always looking for great people, and I'm personally love and enjoyed listening to other people's stories and get inspired by that since I was a child. So I remember myself always picking stories, and I still remember some that have been shared through grandmas and so on. So it's been part of me. And yeah, so I'm the one who gets the most first, very selfish, having the Making It in Austria is for me to meet all these amazing people around the world that came to Vienna and call Vienna one of their homes. Ricardo, you're definitely one of them. Paula was so recommendable. So as you have to talk to Ricardo, and I'm so looking forward. So warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Adela. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me here. I was excited to have this opportunity to talk with you. And congratulations also for your journey in your YouTube channel. I watched it, I think 5 or 6, and then I said it's amazing what you're doing. So thank you for having me here and also having the opportunity to join that. I really appreciate. And thank you, Paula, also for introducing us.
Yes, yeah, she's great. She's doing some great things and she's growing. And I think that's one of the red lines of people that I have interviewed through the Making It in Austria channel is that they are very giving. So they are very, yeah, they went through, everybody had a different journey, some similarities along the way, but all of them are very open, very, very warm, very giving. So they're really trying to giving tips and tricks and saving you some headaches along the way, be it through LinkedIn, just sharing, or be it, starting their aside project like hers, the least Austria. So everyone, and I say everyone that I have interviewed along the way met, so has one or two other passions that they're really, exploring and doing for the benefits also of others. So I've been in Austria since 10 plus years, so 2013. So it's going along the way. So, and when I came, that was the world of Facebook groups
Yes.
and forums.
Yes.
And all this exciting, network that exists. So they started 2017, 18, 19, 20s, and so on. So it's really, there was a gap in between. And I remember reading forums when we went to apply for the visa, and there was like a lot of mixed feelings, And one of the things that I pick up from there, because there was a lot of people going through a really struggle, one of the things I picked up is along the way was prepare as much documents as you have. So I think I always had pile of additional ones because, reading the additional ones
Or
and like, maybe this certificate and that certificate of German or whatnot. So like all of them, extra stamps of, because I'm from Bosnia, the Europe, but not in European Union. So it's
yes,
the
yes.
third world country in the administration eyes, and there was like always piles of piles. So it has its yeah, it served me well. So it was not panicking, but it was like for the sake of preparation.
Yes.
For you, Ricardo, how was your way to Austria? How did you decide to come to Vienna, or who decided?
Perfect. Yes, I think it was a shared decision with my wife. She's the one that take all the decisions, Adele, and I'm proud to say that. I have no problems in saying that. But jokes aside, moving to Austria was my family, my first abroad experience.
Mhm.
So was an opportunity that we have in my actual employee, of leading a new area here in Austria. That is one of our commercial offices that take care of
Mhm.
our external export operations in Europe and also in the Asia Pacific region. So
Mhm.
it was an opportunity on the time that was addressed to say, and as we were used it before also to live in different places in Brazil, where where I came from. So we said, why not? Why not change and go then to Austria, to Europe, to have a new life and understand how things are. So this is how things went almost 5 years ago. So I received a proposal to, an offer to work abroad. And then I brought my wife and on the time, my two kids that was there in Brazil. And then we arrived in the southeast region of Austria in Dornbirn, Lustenau, Vorarlberg
Yeah.
was our first Austrian experience, I may say.
Yes, yes, the language over there, my aunt. So that was also our first experience with Austria because she was from in Bregenz. She's still actually
Yeah,
from the whole
Bregenz.
family. Yes, yes, yeah, Lustenau.
So was
Mhm.
Lustenau perfect? Yeah, it was interesting. I think in the beginning, as a first experience like that, we moved during winter. So this is also
Okay.
a tip, don't do that. It's for maybe a tropical country as Brazil moving to winter. It's something
So
that is
you
a
came
challenge that you may
without a jacket.
we have
Too.
enough, let's say, to survive, but really didn't understand how it
Like,
would be.
oh,
But was really nice. We was like astonished about
the
the snow
nature.
and the environment, the
Yes,
nature. It
yes,
was like
yes.
fantastic. So the beginning was really nice. And then when life starts, to reach you, you need to find a doctor appointment, and then
Okay.
you see that okay, we may need to learn German or even Vorarlbergisch, right? The
Yeah,
dialect
yes,
that we have in the
yes,
region.
yes.
Then okay, it's time for us to understand how to make things happen and moving further. But here is how we went up in Austria. Later, we have a officer relocation when I was working. Then we moved to Vienna, and here as I'm based with my family almost 4 years for now.
Nice, nice. You brought me memories from when I was doing my MBA. That was 2017, 2019 here at the Executive Academy at the Vienna University of Economics. And there was two colleagues. So, and one of them was from Mexico, and the other one also from I think it was Florida, around Florida. And so they're very warm. So they came from warm, and then it was the beginning of October, and I remember seeing them very lightly dressed. I was like, "What it is?" And I remember later on we were talking about. They were like, "The first day, this is so cold here, so cold. I need to go up and up my wardrobe because it's a different weather." So and yeah, so
And then we learned there is no bad weather. It's just,
just the bed.
weather. Yes, perfect. So
Mhm.
we learned the saying, and then now I may say that we know how to play more or less the game, so we don't suffer anymore after 4 years.
But what so I was thinking the other day, so how people socialize. So for instance, in Bregenz, in Vorarlberg, I remember I met most of my own friends, and they socialize not through sitting, at least the group, so her friends, is through hiking. So you take hiking tours, or you go running, or you do this and that. I mean, in Vienna they do that too, but for in my circle, when we
Hmm.
want to meet, we go for lunch, brunch, coffee, some sort, so where you sit and or where you have a nice view, you enjoy the coffee, food, and then you sit. But over there, we spent all of it. So we were basically all the time. So not just like hiking and meeting friends. And they had really schedules around that. So like Wednesdays for, I meet this friend and we go for a hike for an hour up, hour down, and that was it. So it's very, very different. So because of nature, I mean, nature offers it. And I mean,
Yeah,
most of
of
the
course.
friends were very, very active. So
The
that,
mountains, the lakes also,
oh,
right?
it's
So really,
amazing.
really beautiful
It
landscape.
is. And it's close to Switzerland. So we used to go to Switzerland for cheese and cakes because
Excellent.
they taste better. Yeah.
Yeah, I may say they're different. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So
Good
and
memories
it's
also.
food, food connects people. Speaking of food and culture, so what is from Brazil that you miss in Vienna? So, for instance, or what's one of the things or two things that you say like this would be different in Brazil?
Yeah, and this is an excellent question, and we learn to play like that. I think the first thing is the warmth of people warmth. So
Yeah.
as maybe a Latino cultural perspective, smiling every time, share your family life or history in the first 5 minutes. So here I am, I'm married, those are my
So
kids.
it's not my horoscope. Okay, because they say the Aquarius. I'm not joking. Aquarius share everything. So okay, it's cultural. Okay, thanks,
So
Ricardo.
yes, that is
I'm
that is of course
going
culture is
up.
a white thing. Of course you can play, but usually I think this warmth, like people really, if it doesn't matter 5 minutes, you connect, you can know each other already in a bus stop waiting for the bus, for instance. So
Yeah.
this is something that I missed a little, and the food. I think this is also that I need to
Yes.
learn the Brazilian food and the barbecues that we have there and things like that. So I think those are the biggest things that I missed. And then of course coming here we learn different things and also learn that it's possible and that is a different way of doing things and to connect. So this for me was the most amazing part of my life and my career, living for so many different places and regions inside Brazil and also here.
Mm.
That's something that I really like that there is no only one answer. This is how you learn it to see, but the world is so huge. People think different, and I really enjoy that. So I'm learning a lot here in Austria and Vienna.
And I think we are changing. So as a civilization, so as for the last 20, 30 years, I think we have had a major shift as a civilization with the expansion of, with the technology, internet, social media, especially. So it's getting more, and I miss that, this warmth. So I come from very, very small village, really small. Everybody knows everyone and generations, and it's convenient, it's comfortable. So now for you, for my kids, everybody knows who's who and where do they play. So it's very convenient, and it's people like, I grew up going to a neighbor or neighbor coming to us for sugar, or I know they forgot something or they need eggs because they're making something now. So this is how I grew up. So and then I'm turning 40s next year. So, and the world is different. So the world where my kids, the world that I live now, and I also in Sarajevo. So when I lived, so it's not just like Vienna and
Yeah.
also Austria,
Hmm.
Bosnia. So it was different. So it's like, buildings and everybody's having their own life, and some are there for longer, some are for shorter. You see people very rarely. So there's, it's a different vibe. And then in Vienna, our kids are growing very, very differently, very differently. Even though it's like Vienna is a very, very safe, very open again compared to other big cities. And so very, very, I'm not scared to take her out anytime during the day, night, and so on. So we go to the park. We are always very active, but it's the way she grows up. It's different. It's very different. So in this individualism and, as a society, as a community, always someone doing something.
That's an excellent point. My hometown where I was born
Yeah.
is São Paulo in Brazil, and there is 25 million people in the city. So we are always rushing. You don't know what's going on. People here and
It's
there,
three
and
times
then
Austria.
yes, exactly. So this is the point. And then coming to onto time Dornbin, that is like a small city, and then you can see the mountains and the animals. And the first thing that shocked me, and I still recall that, was seeing the kids going by themselves to the kindergartens and to the schools with
Yes.
3 to 4 and 6 years
Yeah.
and say, what are those parents? What they are doing? How those kids are going in
Is anyone
alone?
watching? Is anyone watching
That's
here?
the,
What is happening?
and so well behaved and cars stop and so then you understand, of course, you open your mind, see how the community supports. So it was really interesting to learn that. Also, I say that I struggled with my kids to let them live this more freedom
Yeah.
or more individual, how can I say, ways
Yeah.
of or facing life, but we learn, and I think it is amazing. I think how we build and we try to raise the kids here with this
Mm.
individual and more self-awareness and doing things by
True.
themselves is really, really nice.
Yeah, yeah, and they're eager. So ours is 5, and she was, having her bike with 3, and then always biking. And of course, she's faster than I am. And then it's like the whole time, please watch, because they're doing something in the garden. So someone is always with a car or some sort of tractor, or there's something happening. So please be aware. So yeah, it takes some time for parents to let our kids embrace this, because we are parents.
Yes,
We're always watching.
yes,
We're always like
yes.
always something thinking. And unfortunately, by the nature, it's not always very positive. It's like, oh, she's gonna figure it out. It's like, oh, I have to be there. So yeah, it's for us. It's also a big journey. Speaking of cities, Ricardo, you wrote in a biography, 17 cities, 17.
Yes.
They're gonna soon be, 18 years, teenager, not a teenager, plus one and you're 18. So, or you can have drinks or like with 21 in the US, you can have drinks and stuff like that. So
Almost there,
having
almost reaching
almost
the
there.
legality, right? Yes, this was interesting. And I think
Wild.
most of them, wild is, I never thought in that word. I think
Okay.
this explains a lot, and I will start to use that, Adela.
Yes,
But
please.
basically, I think that was on I'm engineering, and basically I worked before. My career is non-orthodox, let's say like that. I have an operational background, working in mills and industry and forest operations, but I also work in marketing and HR, in commercial, in strategy. So I did a little of everything. But in this time, I was always jumping in from mill to mill, make things different. Oh, is nothing working well? Let's get in better, improve. Now let's go to the next one. So this is how I start to move really fast
Mhm.
during regions. I never spent more than 2 to 3 years in the same city. And then on the time in Brazil as a huge country, sometimes to be able to visit our family 3 4 hours flight, but was amazing. I was raised by that. My kids were raised like that. My wife also followed me. And from one side, I think the opportunity that you have to learn and have new experience and met a lot of people, something that I really like is to be connect with people and increase my network and my way of thinking and learning. And from the other way around, the roots, right? How to keep or what you call roots. This is what was needed for me and to my family to redefine. And then we understand the roots here or our home is wherever we are together. Doesn't matter where is the place. So it was a really interesting, wild, challenging during that time. There was one specific year that we moved 3 times of cities in Brazil, and my wife, on the time we didn't have kids. She was trying to figure out what she was gonna do with her job. So he found a job, and let's go here and there, let's move. But in the end, we managed. But I really like that. So these were 17 different places that I lived, but also working with business wise, I had the opportunity to visit some other different countries and regions. So also complementing this my way of thinking. I think one of the most surprising and best experience that I also had was working together in China with colleagues that I
Wow.
that I have
Okay.
there. So open a lot of my mind on the different cultures that we also have and the way of think in a different way.
I'm curious, how do you pack? I mean, with kids, family, so do you pack light or so how do you move? So I mean that's the
We
biggest,
learn.
the it's like because I have this picture in my head with the new parents. Remember, I probably you saw this. It's like it's very popular. So traveling without the kids and traveling with the first kid, you're like, wow, everything. The car is full. You don't have space. There's no space
We,
in
we
in
we
carrying.
learned it. I think in the
Mhm.
beginning, Adela was crazy. Like the first kid, we tried to be prepared and a lot of luggage and things like that. Now we learn how to travel light. So it's like 2 3 big 23 kilos luggage, two I guess, and then 1 or 2 hand luggage, and that is it for a family of 6. So we learned how to make things happen. We moved from Brazil to Austria with 6 luggage, nothing more than that. This was our
Wow,
life from Brazil
cool.
to here.
Cool. I think I had more
And
when
then
we
we
moved from
rebuilt.
Bosnia. So kudos.
And then we rebuilt. I think it was an excellent exercise of renewing and starting again. So this is how we
Cool.
are set up now.
Cool. And I'm curious, is it in your family that they love to move? So do you have, I don't know, history of nomads?
No, I am the
Is
black
it in your
sheep,
blood?
Adele.
Okay, that's good.
Both of my families and my wife's families were the first one also living abroad. So we are starting a new, let's say, new generation in our families also.
Cool. It's really cool because it's like I'm thinking maybe you grew up in a way, so but you're bringing it up. Regarding Vienna, so Ricardo, what would you say to people from your experience moving to Vienna, be it from Brazil, or be it from any other country. So what's one of the things that maybe you struggle still, or you struggled along the way a little bit?
I think Vienna is a fantastic city, and you can have everything here, and I really like that. You also have opportunities, and I believe that even as a Portuguese speaker, this is my mother language, to find, for instance, service or doctors in almost all specializations that can speak your language. So this is an advantage. But I think Vienna is an amazing city, and so international, so open. So for one side, I believe that I really like the connection, the city, how we can go everywhere with public transportation, how things work, and etc. And sometimes struggling a little with the bureaucracy to make things happen, the documentation that you need. For instance, if you're not a U.S. A European Union citizen, to go through. But I think Vienna is amazing. And what I also like it most is that you have different Viennas inside Vienna. So you have the inner state, the inner center, then you have the other regions. So it's even inside one city, you can be and find amazing things and do a lot of different things. So I really like being here. I really like the people. Once you are integrated, and I think this is something for me and for my family that is really important. Once you are in a new place, you just want to be there. Independent, it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 years. You want to be integrated, and here I think is where we are working at it, because to be integrated, I believe that you need to speak German in a level that you can integrate with the culture, with the regions. So this is what is our aim to get more integrated with the culture itself.
Nice. I think when you mentioned bureaucracy, I think with the kids, so we took with the first one, so she's 5. We didn't have the Austrian citizenship, but with the second we did, and it's a whole different story. It's a whole different experience. I mean, with the first one, we needed about 6 months to figure, because we needed to have the Bosnian passport, and it hit us, the corona, the lockdowns, and all that mess that we had behind us. So traveling was not easy. So you could not do really quickly travel. I mean, fly to Sarajevo, get back. Eventually, we had to do that. And she needed the visa because she's in an third world country citizen, and all that, and then getting the money from from the insurance, the first paychecks and all that, and being insured. So that's a whole different level. Really, it's like it's nothing. So when you do that, and then with the boy, so with the baby, so it was just you just upload the birth certificate, and that was it. And then the D card comes, and this comes, and then you just automatically insured, and I get from the money from the insurance, the monthly, the current money. So it's just like it's like flow. So there's no headache, there's nothing. You don't have to go anywhere, do anything. So it's all digital. So with one paper you finalize it. The passport just around the corner. It's a magistrate. So you go there, and then you just wait for a few minutes and do it and get it within a few days. It's a whole different story, really. So it's a different experience. We forgot how quickly and easily it went. Within 2 weeks, it was all set after the birth.
Fantastic. Here we're always looking to when things are due when we need to start.
Exactly.
To be compliant.
True. And then we had to give, of course, in Austria, so you have to give away at the moment. You have to give away the first citizenship.
Yes.
And I think it's we are here. So we've been for quite so long time, and then it's worth it. I think if we would be anywhere else, we would look for the ways to get as well the citizenship.
Perfect.
Because the level of quality of life is a way different. I tell you that. So it's so if you're considering it, or if you're in the between thinking, what's the pro and con? So it's really it's worth it. And for traveling and everything, you just take the passport and go.
Change game, yes.
It's really a game changer. And for the language, of course, as you said, it's super important, and it makes your life easier. I mean, we talk with the kids Bosnian, so both of us are Bosnians, and so at home we speak only Bosnian. Esma is in the kindergarten, so they speak only German. It's a public one, so they speak German. Her friends are Austrians around the corner, so they speak among themselves. So we do tend to really do our best, and she goes to school and classes in Bosnia, so that she keeps up that one. So we have family there, so we try to go as much as possible. So the both sides, so we are not,
Yes.
it's both. So I'm Bosnian, I say Bosnian by heart, Austrian by choice. So there's both in me. So I cannot, yeah, both have served me very well in my life. So
Yeah. And there is no need to choose something, right?
exactly.
We
So
don't need.
because of the
Exactly.
roots and everything what you said for the kids, she's safe with both feet on the both ground, so she understands perfectly the culture here. So we celebrate all possible festivals and celebrations, but we also have Bosnian ones, and so both can go nicely as long as we are fit at home, and then the society as well is open enough to see
Of
that
course.
it doesn't harm one or the other. So it's perfectly fine.
Yes.
She can speak in German with one, and then moves and speaks Bosnian with me, and then
Yes.
everybody's
That.
happy. So to everyone who's listening this and thinking of and considering Vienna, so please do come to Vienna. So there's a lot of great things happening, and we all love curious people, open people, people who want to change and move the needle and do some great things for the society, for the communities, and so on. So warm welcome. Ricardo, thank you so much for spending this time with us and sharing your story. We keep in touch. I will link your contact details below this video, so everybody who wants to get in touch with you and has some questions or just want to grab a coffee. We have some good coffee in Vienna. Coffee
Yes,
culture.
indeed.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time, and have a great day, a great weekend, and talk to you soon with the next interview. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you very much.